It takes incredible strength to be open about our mental health and connection to suicide prevention. By joining this walk, all of you have shown your strength, and you are helping others find their strength too. As many of us know all too well, suicide is one of the leading causes of death in the U.S. Just like any physical health issue, suicide is a health issue that affects us all. But we also know that suicide can often be preventable. By walking with us today and helping to raise awareness and funds for suicide prevention, you are fueling the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention's ongoing efforts to save lives. With your support, we are able to invest in cutting-edge scientific research, life-saving public policy changes, eye-opening education programs, and support for those who have experienced a loss or been affected by suicide. We have come so far. Each year, Out of the Darkness walks continue to grow and gain even more support. When the first community walks took place in 2004, around 4,000 people showed up to walk for suicide prevention. In 2023, that number swelled to over 1,073. Who were able to raise an astounding $22.8 million in 1 year alone. All told, over 2.5 million people have participated in Out of the Darkness walks over the years. These walkers and the funds they raise make a tremendous impact. Look around you. Each and every person you see in the crowd today is helping to save lives and sending a message of love and healing to all those who have lost loved ones, and letting the community know we all have a role to play in combating this leading cause of death. As a walker, volunteer, or sponsor, you are helping to reach millions of people with vital information about how to fight suicide in their communities. In being here today, you are also helping our volunteer advocates across the country to fight tirelessly for legislation that saves life, like the increased and sustained funding for the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Before we begin today's walk, I'd like to highlight some of the life-saving work our Tampa Bay chapter is doing. Healing Conversations. Healing Conversations connect the newly bereaved with a trained loss survivor for support and resources. If you have lost someone to suicide, AFSP is here to help support you. Our Healing Conversations program is designed to connect loss survivors with trained volunteers who are also survivors of suicide loss to help survivors navigate the journey by offering support, connection, and resources. Please visit Gretchen Oswald at the AFSP table to learn more. In addition, this November 23rd is our AFSP Tampa Bay chapter and national team will host a variety of opportunities to participate in Survivors Day. Programs are also available in Spanish. For details, please visit afsp.org/boss. Talk Saves Lives is a community-based presentation that covers the general scope of suicide, the research on prevention, and what people can do to fight suicide. In the past year, our AFSP Tampa Bay chapter has delivered 51 educational programs reaching more than 1,800 people. We are reaching new people every week of the year. Our work in the community would not be possible without you walking with us today or our volunteers. This event would not be possible without the help of the many volunteers that make it possible. Please raise your hand if you are a volunteer. Thank you. If you would like to volunteer with the chapter, please visit our website, afsp.org/Tampa. Before I introduce our first speaker, I would like to recognize and thank our event sponsors. We encourage you to thank these businesses as you are out and about. We'd like to thank HCA and the Bobby White Foundation. Now, I would like to introduce Omira. She's an RN with the VA to share about the significance of the honor beads.
Good morning, everyone. So, losing someone to suicide or that's struggling with mental illness can feel like no one understands what you're going through. Unlike other illnesses, it is difficult to look at someone and know their connection. The Pasco County Out of the Darkness Walk is a journey of remembrance and an event that unites our community. It is a time to acknowledge the ways in which suicide and mental illness has affected our lives and our loved ones. We all wear honor beads. Each color shows our personal connection to the cause and helps us identify others who understand our experience. One of the most beautiful yet heartbreaking things about Out of the Darkness walks is that it helps us see that we are not alone in our struggles. I would like us to reflect for a few moments to help us acknowledge our similarities with each other and recognize that the connections that we have bring us here together. My name is Omira, and I've been involved with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention Walk for the past 2 years. So this is the first year that I'm walking. Last year I just donated. I join you in the fight today because suicide, depression, anxiety is part of my everyday struggles. "2020 was a year that my best friend and mentor, Darla Myers, suffered silently with this, and on September 11, 2020, we lost her to suicide. I wear purple beads for Darla. I wear silver beads for the loss of all the first responders in our military. I wear green beads for my personal struggles. I wear rainbow beads because I support the LGBTQ+ community. And I wear blue beads because I support suicide prevention. I would like everyone to join me, whoever has beads, as I say the colors, if you can raise them up. Orange beads for the loss of a sibling. White beads present the loss of a child. If you feel comfortable, please raise your bead. Gold beads present the loss of a parent to suicide. Red beads represent the loss of a spouse or a partner. Purple beads represent the loss of a relative or friend. Silver beads represent the loss of a first responder or member of the military. Green beads represent personal struggle or attempt. Teal beads represent supporting someone who struggles or who has attempted. Rainbow beads present those who are honoring the LGBT community. Blue beads represent supporting the suicide prevention. All right. I just want to also take a moment to personally thank you all, each and every one of you, for being with us here today. Many of us struggle with it or are just supporters, and either way, we're here, we're a community. I'm thankful that we were able to come together in person today, and I hope that this is a beautiful walk for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Omira. Next, I would like to welcome and introduce you to Teresa Daniels. Teresa serves on the AFSP Tampa Bay Chapter Board, is the Pasco County Walk Chair, and Captain of Team Tristan. Teresa will share her personal stories about why she walks. Please join me in welcoming Teresa.
Thank you, Tammy. Good morning, everyone. My name is Teresa Daniels. I'm the walk chair, like she said, for the Pasco walk today. But I would like to introduce you to my son, Tristan Daniels, by telling you my story. My son, Tristan, was my only child, and he died by suicide 10 years, 6 months, and 19 days ago on April 14th, 2014. Tristan was 18 years old. He was a senior at J.W. Mitchell High School. He was very smart, very funny, very kind-hearted, and very loyal to his family and friends. Tristan was very talented at a very young age. He played soccer with the Dunedin Community Soccer Team at 5, and he was also what they call ambipedal. It's a great word for being able to kick with both of your feet, which really irritated his opposing teams. In grade school, he played basketball with Port Richey, the YMCA. He played cello at Garrison Jones Elementary and the trombone with Sonny LaRosa's youngest jazz band. They even went to Montreal for the International Jazz Festival in 2009. Tristan also played tennis at J.W. Mitchell on the tennis team, and he continued playing his trombone with the Marching Mustangs and the jazz band. Tristan was also a world traveler. We went to the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas and St. Martin, when he was about 6 years old. And when he was 13 years old, he went on a missions trip with me to Haiti. When Tristan died by suicide, my life and my heart were shattered. Tristan was my whole life. I was no longer a mother of a child living on earth. I was completely lost and felt very alone. Those were some very dark times for us. I was very depressed, and I was afraid that I would not survive. But my mother made me make a promise to her that I would not die by suicide. As many of you are aware, survivors are 400 times more likely to do so. With that promise, I realized I had to do something. I knew I could not survive on my own. I needed help. I needed skills that I didn't have. So I started to do some research. I went to grief groups, child loss survivor groups, received counseling, and then I found AFSP. When I went to my first Out of the Darkness walk at Starkey Park in 2015, I knew I had found a home there. I no longer felt alone. There were people there like me. I felt heard and represented by my survivor's journey. Shortly after several walks, learning some training programs, volunteering with AFSP, I became a member of the board in 2017. I learned how to survive by developing skills, self-care, learning how to recognize my triggers, and being a part of something bigger than myself. I want to thank you all for allowing me to share just a small part of myself and my son, Tristan, with you today. I walk to honor the memory of my son, Tristan Daniels. I walk to be Tristan's voice and to share who Tristan was with all of you so that his life is never forgotten. I walk to make him proud of me. I walk to show my love for my son. I walk so Tristan can see his mom as a survivor who is passing on what I've learned to help someone else. I walk to use Tristan's life as a light to shine on suicide, a light, and help bring all of us out of the darkness. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa, for a lot. I would like to now introduce Myrta Slanders. Myrta serves on the AFSP Tampa Bay Chapter Board.
I honor my son, Derek Landers. The life of a bubble. The life of a bubble begins with one action. A single blow into the wand creates a ripple of many bubbles. Likewise, the single act of suicide creates a ripple of many survivors of suicide loss. The bubbles floating around us represent the lives touched by those we remember today. As you watch the bubble form at the end of the wand, sometimes it is difficult for the bubble initially to take its form. In the first hours, days, and months after losing someone you love to suicide, it is almost impossible to see beyond the pain and the grief. The loss is always there. However, as time passes, you learn to step away from that moment of loss, just as the bubble at last disconnects from the wand and begins to fly on its own. You begin to remember the good times and focus on those memories. Like a survivor of suicide loss, as the bubble flies on its own, it is very fragile. It only takes a single touch of the bubble to pop. On a cloudy, dark day, the bubble is merely a transparent sphere. When the sun shines, the bubble is full of beautiful, vibrant colors, and it glistens. As with the survivor of loss, there are days that it is easy to laugh and celebrate and see the beautiful colors. However, there are also those dark days of sadness and frustration. So today, think of the bubbles as a symbol of ups and downs and highs and lows, of living every day as a survivor of suicide loss. As we watch the bubbles around us today, let us focus on the impact each and every life had on others while they were still here. Their legacy lives on with us.
Thank you, Murtis. I would now like to recognize your fundraising efforts as you support the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention in the mission to save lives and bring hope to all those affected by suicide. Collectively, we have raised over $17,000 at this year's Pasco County Out of the Darkness Walk. Your support today saves lives through research, education, advocacy, and by supporting those who have been affected by suicide. Your fundraising efforts are remarkable, and we would like to take a moment to give special thanks to our top 3 fundraising teams and top 3 fundraising individuals. The top 3 fundraising individuals are Teresa Daniels, Michael Tufano, and Joanne Haley Tremblay. Our top 3 teams are Team Tristan Daniels, Team Ryder, and the number 1 team this year is Team Forever 21. We would now like to invite the top fundraising team, Forever 21, to help kick off the walk by leading the walk and carrying our AFSP Tampa Bay chapter banner. If you all could line up, please, behind Forever 21, the walk will begin. Have a great walk, everyone. Make sure you take lots of pictures. Hashtag A-F-S-P-Pasco. If you would like to learn more about our work of our chapter or to volunteer, please visit afsp.org/Tampa. When we return from the walk, please feel free to take any messages of hope that were left on the hope board that speak to your heart and your beautifully painted rocks home with you. Thank you again, and everyone, have a great walk.